Hi everyone! Your Bluetooth earbuds don't have a connecting wire between them, so why should your stereo speakers? I'll show you how to use the same technology that's used in your earbuds to convert any pair of speakers to truly wireless Bluetooth. If you like the sound quality through your earbuds, then you're going to love these speakers. Of course, you don't want to pay a king's ransom for a stereo, so this method lets you choose the speakers. All the parts to add the Bluetooth, including the power supplies and all the hardware, cost about $60 for a pair. And that's all you need, because just like your earbuds, no separate amplifier or receiver is needed. The speakers connect wirelessly directly to your phone. Here's the two Bluetooth amplifier kits for a pair of stereo speakers. I bought these packaged as a pair from Amazon. They're made by a company called Using Audio. I've laid out all the parts for one of the kits, and the first and very important step is to stick the heatsink, this heatsink, onto the amplifier chip. So we peel off the backing and stick it onto the top of that chip. So that goes right here like this, and then we'll set that aside. Now we'll build this up from the bottom. I'll take the bottom cover and place one of the teeny tiny screws through the teeny tiny hole, like that. Then I can use my finger and thread one of these little standoffs on it. And these are really small, so I should really be using my glasses. And we do this for all four. Now that we have the standoffs in place, we can put the threads on the standoffs through the circuit board holes like that. There we go. Now, just screw on the brass pillars. Once you have all four threaded brass pillars screwed into place, you're ready to put the top cover on. Just push one of the screws through one of the holes on the top cover and just very loosely screw it into one of the pillars, and then do the same with the second. At this stage, it's much easier if you don't tighten these screws down. And that lets us get these other screws through the holes and still be retained by the holes. These do line up exactly. And when we have the last one threaded on, we can tighten them all up. Now this is the complete amplifier kit for one speaker, and it's perfectly fine to use it like this. I don't like to have this much open space all the way around. I know it helps the cooling a little bit, but this thing doesn't run hot. So I prefer to put more of a protective cover on this thing, and I'll show you how to do that now. To make the case, we use one of these little plastic boxes. These come in a pack of 6, and I'll leave a link to where you can get these in the video description. The first thing we have to do is cut the lid off the box, and this is very easy because the plastic is very thin at the hinge. We also cut this little latch off. There we go. To accept the screws for the plastic cover, I need to replace the top cover screws one by one with 5mm M2 threaded standoffs, like these. I'll put a link in the video description to where you can get a set of these. And once we've replaced the screws with standoffs, it looks like this. The only tricky part to this is cutting a hole that lines up with the volume control shaft. And as you can see, I put the hole on the wrong side. And if you're seeing this, this is the method that worked. Put a piece of painter's tape on the back of the box to give us something to draw on. I'm going to draw a center line down this box, and we'll reference everything to the center line so that it doesn't matter the precise size of the box you're using. You line up the amplifier with the standoffs that we placed on it on top. And we draw the arrows pointing to which side the volume control is on. Then we put tape down that side, lined up with the center line, and take it down along the front. So that will mark the center line on this surface. Now mark 8mm from the center line. That's where the volume control goes. Now we mark 14mm down from the top surface of the box. X marks the spot. Now I'll use a pin vise to make a hole at that spot. If you don't have a pin vise, I'll put a link in the description to where you can get them, and the little drill bits come with the pin vise. Then we use a step drill to enlarge the hole. I'll put a link in the description to where you can get a step drill. This is actually easier with an electric screwdriver, but a hand screwdriver works just fine. And I got it right on my third attempt. So put the nut on the volume control and hand tighten it to hold everything in place. Now you can mark the positions of the screw holes. And we'll get the pin vise and we'll make a 2mm hole in the first corner. Now with the 4 holes made, we can just screw the cover down. Now we get to mark the position of the power connector on the outside and the position of the aux input jack. This one is going to have to be a notch rather than a hole because it's so close to the edge. After marking the holes for the power connector and the aux jack, we remove the cover and use the pin vise and step drill again to make the 2 marked holes. Before we screw the cover down, got to put the speaker wires in, and we're going to use the power pigtail that came with these kits, and we'll cut this end off. And we attach the red wire to the plus side and the black wire to the minus side. Once we've screwed the cover down, we can check that the power connector goes in easily, which it does. Repeat those steps to build up the second amplifier module. Now we have a complete stereo pair ready to attach to the speakers. You can use any speakers that don't have Bluetooth or an amplifier already built in. That means anything with a pair of speaker wire terminals like these. If you don't already have a pair of speakers that you can use, you might be able to pick up a bargain at a thrift store. But if you're buying new speakers, these Dayton Audio Classic B40s are a great choice. They're compact, inexpensive, and sound really good. To attach the amplifiers to the speakers, we use these 3M command strips. The ones we'll use are the 10-pound medium-sized strips, more than strong enough. First, I have to remove the backing strip, and we'll put 2 of these on the back of the amplifier, just like this, and smooth it down. We'll put the second one on. Make sure we don't go over the screws. Now we remove the backing for the strips that are going to go against the speaker, and we place them gently on the strips that are on the amplifier and just push in the corners. This is just to get them in the right spot. Then we do the same for the second one. Now I flip the amplifier over and just place it firmly in the spot where I want to stick it, like that. And then just quickly remove it. And we push those strips down firmly and leave them for 2 hours. Now once these strips have had a chance to set for a little bit, we could just put the amplifier carefully in the right spot and push down firmly until it clicks in place. Now we just measure a little loop for the speaker wire, and we cut this wire with a pair of scissors. And we can use the scissors to strip the wire. Then we connect the red wire to the red terminal and the black wire to the black terminal, just like that. Once you've repeated the process for the second speaker, you have a pair of wireless Bluetooth speakers. Since this system uses Bluetooth, it has the advantage of simple setup with no special apps needed, and all music services are supported and play exactly the same with Apple phones as they do with Android. The amplifier boards come with a card with QR codes to download written instructions and a phone app. I found the written instructions helpful, but the app really isn't needed. Just follow the pairing steps here. The volume is normally adjusted from your phone, but the volume controls on the speakers let you adjust the balance between them. I start out with both controls preset to about 2/3 of the maximum. This 12-volt 3-amp power supply is plenty enough for just one speaker, and I will put a link in the description to tell you where to get it. To get these speakers to work as a stereo pair, first you have to apply the power to both speakers. And we'll do the second one here. So with them both powered up, we select the one that we want to be the left speaker, and we do a triple click. And this needs to be a fairly fast cadence. If you're too slow, it won't work. And it connected to the second speaker. So the red light stays steady on the one that we did the triple click, and it's flashing on the second speaker, and it'll stay flashing. You pair this pair of speakers with your phone as if they were a single speaker. You'll see two different Woozy audios though when you go to your Bluetooth settings. Pick the one with the headphone symbol. Then when we go to a music app, in this case Spotify, it plays in stereo from our two speakers. Once placed in my living room, the speakers sound awesome. And they don't draw much power when they're not playing music, so you can leave them on, ready to play. If you like this video, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you buy any of the products from the links in the description, it won't cost you any more, but the small commission does help to support the channel and is much appreciated. Thanks for watching, everyone.